Hello, folks. Welcome to Pro Trader Strategies. My name is Eric Wilkinson, and this is Spotting the Trade. A lot of going on right now. What we usually talk about here is the economic data, some of the geopolitical environments, how that's impacting the overall markets, find some directional assumptions, and then we'll talk about the option strategies we can implement into our portfolio based on some of those assumptions and the environment that is going on around this underlying. So make sure you guys are on top of that. And before you go, smash the like button. Hit the subscribe. Next to it, there is a bell right next to it that'll give you an indication when we're popping in unannounced. So please make sure that is lit up as well. Thursdays is our webinars where we really drill down on an option component. So please check that out. We're going to be doing that on cracking the code to trading options there. So please check out that course there. All right, what's going on in the markets? Well, we've been talking about economic data coming out pretty good. Well, what's going on with the markets? Well, they're free falling right now. Why? Well, Ukraine is basically invading or is being invaded by Russia. And that was one of the things we talked about, that we were going to have to watch and see what would happen right after the Olympics. Well, they invaded. And now the funny thing is, twist of fate is China. Whose fault is it? Well, it's the U.S.'s fault. They're putting it on us right now that we are the reason why, for some reason, that Russia is invading the Ukraine. So what does that mean? Saudi Arabia talking about increasing oil production because of this spike. We saw oil spike up earlier this morning, overnight into the, what am I looking for here? Oil. Saw it spike up into the $100 a barrel mark. So we're seeing commodities get driven higher, risk to the upside for most commodities, especially dollar denominated things like that. We could also look at wheat. I don't know where wheat is right now, but I'll have to find it. Wheat is something that is a big, here, I'll just type it in here rather than ZW, wheat. So wheat making a massive spike to the upside. Ukraine is a big producer of wheat, so they are exporting that product. Well, that could drive higher as we are seeing limited supply come out. Also, here in the United States, a lot of people aren't talking about this, and it's going to be a driver as well. Most of the Midwest just recently did get some snow. That is a good thing. With winter wheat, it needs like a layer of insulation of snow to really do well going into the spring. So I don't think we've seen a whole lot of snow this past winter in order to create that kind of insulation or those insulative properties, if you will, for wheat. So that's not going to be so great here in the United States, also exacerbating that limited supply to the upside there for that product. So something people aren't talking about here is the tech sector and how that's going to be affected by Russia invading Ukraine. Now, not a lot of people outside of the tech sector, or let's say startups, really know about this, but the Ukraine is really where folks that are starting a new business or trying to get their new products developed in the Ukraine. Because here in the United States, as a startup, those folks can't afford to pay up for the developers like you could if you were to go to the Ukraine. Why? Because of trading here in the United States. That has really been a draw for folks that can program C#, stuff like that. So those wage inflations have already happened. That's not just a recent thing. What's really recent is the wage inflation in the Ukraine from everybody going there to get developers. So that's something that's going to be a point that we need to keep an eye on. There is those development of these new apps, of infrastructure that's currently being revamped and things like that. That could really slow anything coming out that is new and innovative there on some of these startups, because they're going to be able to afford to pay for the higher priced developers, most likely. But the equities, again, continuing to slide, newer lows. We already looked at wheat there. Bitcoin, really surprised it's not making a move to the upside. Gold, though, looks like it is looking at 2,000 probably today, if we start to see this sell-off continue to pick up here in the equities. Again, equities risk is definitely to the downside. Anything dollar denominated, we're talking wheat, gold, crude oil, those assets are going to be inflationary right now as they are a flight to safety. Now, on the flip side of that, tech, I think, is going to do much worse, not only because of the Ukraine thing, but just tech has had that massive move to the upside. So it's going to have more of a pullback. We've talked about that time and time again. Now, at the beginning of the year, I said all of this was going to start looking like we were going to see the tech sector struggle, and folks need to put their money into more of the blue chips. Yeah, it's your parents investing. You're going to be looking at things like Walmart, IBM, yes, that boring one where we talk about doing covered calls against. Those are the ones that we should be looking at right now in this time of turmoil, because those blue chips are just not as volatile. Because, I mean, if we can just break it down to that and just throw in the covered call strategies because of this massive volatility we're seeing, I think that that is the best thing for a portfolio right now. The other side of it is, if you haven't built that portfolio, looking at selling puts in order to acquire new stock at great strike levels. We talk about that in these webinars as well. So please check out our new course here on cracking the code on trading options. We just started it. We've only done one video, so you can sign up and be a part of this entire series. Make sure that you guys subscribe and hit the bell right next to it, because I'm not always on time. I'm usually a little early. So make sure that you have that bell lit up, because it will let you know that I'm coming in early. All right. And comment. I'll circle back around, make sure everybody's clear concept, and smash that like button for me. It does help out. Folks, stay safe. Don't be buying calls and puts right now. It's too late. We'll talk about that this afternoon, what you would be looking for in a situation where you're looking to buy puts. All right. Right now, we've had that move. I'll talk about why it's too late and when you would want to be implementing a strategy like that. All right. So if you can't take that,